Sorry, I had a few little technical issues and I was like, are we live? Are we not live? But we are. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, all of Abby's friends. I'm just getting it up on my phone as well. Make sure that we are live streaming. Yes, we are. I can see that we're live streaming. Okay, so my name is Danny. Obviously don't know you guys. You're here to support Abby, but Abby asked me if I would come on to her online launch so that she had a bit of support and somebody to explain a little bit about her new online business. I have had my Arbonne business for 6 years, so a little bit longer. I'm going to briefly tell you about my background, and then really you want to hear from Abby. So I'm going to ask Abby some questions so that you get to learn a little bit more about why she's decided to start her own online franchise with Arbonne. So for me, my background was actually working in ophthalmology. I work for Specsavers Opticians. Anyone from the UK probably has heard of Specsavers, but if you're coming in from a different country, you might not have done. I loved what I did and thought that I'd be with Specsavers until retirement age, which is like, goodness knows now what, like I think it's like 70 now or something, and it's like keeps getting pushed further and further back. But I thought that's where I'd stay. And then unfortunately for us as a family, our youngest daughter had a stroke and a brain hemorrhage, and it came completely out of the blue. Like we did not see it coming at all. I don't know if anyone can relate with like a parent, a sibling or child, or just a loved one, or even yourself, where it's like a curveball's thrown into your life and you just haven't prepared for it. And we certainly did not prepare for that. We had not prepared for impact. I took a year off work to be with my daughter in hospital. My husband was working long hours. He was working all weekend. So he was constantly working and putting himself into a bit of an early grave. He was diagnosed with an autoimmune, which was not obviously good for us all. And I received a phone call from my boss at the Specsavers franchise that asked if I was going to come back to work or not. And at the time, I just had to say I wasn't able to do it. I was like juggling all these plates and I just couldn't fit it in. So I actually left, and financially, it destroyed our family. We were in a financial mess for about 2 years. So I was actually actively looking for an online business, like an online franchise. I was looking for something. And I came across Arbonne, and I'd never heard of it before, but it ticked every single box for me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that over the next sort of 10, 15 minutes. But for me, I just saw this as an opportunity to build a business from my phone or my laptop, doing something that I'm good at. I'm good at being honest. I'm good at recommending. Like if somebody asked me what shampoo I recommend, I would be completely honest. I think as women, we do tend to have that as a strength. And I just thought I can get paid for making recommendations, and I can do this in my own time around my children. So that was 6 years ago. And I've never looked back since. I was able to let my husband leave his job. We've been able to go on like dream holidays. We've been able to buy our first house, which we couldn't afford before. So it's opened up loads of doors for us. So that's me. Now I'm going to grill Abby. Now, some of you guys already know Abby, and we're actually doing a bit of a competition. Anyone that comments below how you know Abby, and also whether you are a 1, a 2, or a 3, and I'll be talking about that in a few moments, about where you want to support Abby with your business. Leave a comment and your name will get entered into a prize draw to win a full-sized Arbonne product. So we'll probably do that prize draw next week. So if you're watching on replay, there's a chance to enter. So let us know in the comments how you know Abby. So anyone that doesn't know Abby, maybe you've been added into this group because one of Abby's friends has added you. Let me ask you first, Abby, what did you do before Arbonne or alongside Arbonne?
So first and foremost, I'm a physio. I've been a physio for 10 years now. I work for myself. I treat mainly people who've had a stroke or a brain injury. That's kind of my specialty. But equally, I see a lot of people with very strange conditions, autoimmune conditions, and all sorts really. So before I had my third baby, I was working for a company over quite a long way from my house, quite a big company specialising in brain injury. It involved a lot of travelling, long hours, kind of being away from the family and everything. And when I went on maternity leave after having Daisy, I just thought I can't go back. I can't go back to that rushing, trying to get them to school, finding people to pick them up. I can't do it. So I didn't go back and went working for myself, just around the local area, fitting around childcare, all that sort of stuff, which is great. But then lockdown happened. so I couldn't work as much. So that's where I kind of put my efforts more into the Arbonne thing.
So let me ask you the next question then, just while we're on that. How did you even hear about Arbonne? Tell us a bit about that.
That's an even stranger story, to be honest. It's quite a strange story. I'd never ever heard of Arbonne at all, ever. And you still struggle to find people that have heard of it, don't you? But I was kind of on a random Facebook group, like a health and wellness Facebook group, chatting with other physios and OTs, other health professionals, about how we could get health coaching into our practice, really, how we could support our patients to make changes to the lifestyles. And then this lady chirps up. I'm a nurse, or I was a nurse. I may have the answer. Do you want to know more? So me being like, do I? Go on then. I'll just see what she's got to say. So she did. So I got chatting to this lovely lady called Lindsay, and we chatted for quite a few months, really, backwards and forwards, where she kind of told me little bits, and I kept thinking, yeah, whatever, and having a little look. And then it might have been January or something, she just texted me saying, listen, there's a deal on at the moment. You can get your registration free with whatever it was, the purchase, whatever, I can't remember what it was even. And I just thought, oh, go on then, and did it. And that's kind of how I started, really. Just thought, what is there to lose? Let's give it a go.
Gosh, I love that. And for me, I was ranting on Facebook one day about woe is me, you know, I'm a good person, I'm a hard worker, like, I can't believe that I've ended up in a situation where we'd actually ended up on benefits, actually, because we were so financially in that much of a mess. And I literally was like tapping away on the keyboard, put a Facebook status on, and a girl that I knew in my childhood, I didn't really know her into my adulthood, but when I was younger I knew her, she sent me a message and she said, have you ever heard of Arbonne? I was like, no, because I hadn't. And she said to me, are you aware that a lot of products that we use on a day-to-day basis, things like in your bathroom, in your dressing table, in your kitchen, a lot of products have got ingredients in that actually cause long-term damage? And like, you guys might think this is really naive, but I genuinely had no idea. I did not know about all the nasty chemicals in products that cause problems. So I was like, no. And she said, yeah, it's really bad, actually. And she gave me some like websites to look at. And then she said, there's this company called Arbonne. It's been around for 40 years. And that to me was like a bit of a mental tick, because I was thinking, like, if I'm going to get involved with something, I don't want to get involved with a company that's like here today, gone tomorrow. So when she said 40 years, I was like, all right, okay. She said it was founded by a man called Peter Mork. It's from Switzerland. So to me, thinking Swiss, like, good watches, good chocolates. I was like, all right, okay. That was like another mental tick. And then she said to me, the products are not sold in shops, because if the products were sold in shops that this company makes, they would go up in price. Which, working for Specsavers, I know this about profit margins, because we used to sell glasses and frames for, say, like £125, and I knew that they cost pence to make. Like, the profit margin is massive. And don't get me wrong, obviously they have to pay for their overheads and staff and insurances, but even still, the profit margins are extortionate. So I know that when products are sold in shops, the profit margin is massive. So when she said they're not sold in shops because the founder didn't want that massive profit margin, I was like, that makes sense to me. So she said that only sold via word of mouth. So people like myself, like Abby, obviously, she was like, we buy the rights to an online franchise, which was £30, that lasts a year. She said, and that means we get a website and people can do online shopping on our website, and we get paid for it. I was just like, that's absolutely amazing. So I bought my business and I went shopping online, and I fell in love with the products. So my next question to you, Abby, Arbonne's got over 500 products. They're clean, they're botanical, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, they're kosher, they're gluten-free. Like, I could sit here and talk for ages about the products, but tell me what your experience of the products has been.
Oh, they're great. What is there not to love, really? I started with the nutrition. The nutrition is brilliant. I've been using the protein powder now for quite a few months, and I feel absolutely great. I feel better than I've felt ever in my adult life, really. I think I've lost about a stone maybe, and I've not been trying. That's what I've added into my daily life. But I've got some makeup. The makeup is the best quality makeup I've ever had. The hair care is great. I've got the new curly stuff on tonight. I'm just toying with the curls because the hairdressers are obviously all shut. But no, you can just trust that they will do what they say, can't you? You order it, comes, and it's great quality, and that's it really, isn't it? It lasts ages, and you know it's not doing you any harm. And I think that the no harm thing is the biggest thing for me, plus the no cruelty and the vegan aspect as well. So yeah, they just tick all the boxes, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, the first product I actually bought was the baby care range for my children, because both my kids had really bad like red, raw, itchy skin. And I remember when I went on the website and I was looking at the kids hair and body wash, and it was like a bottle this big, and it was about, I think it was about £15. And for me, that was a lot of money, because I was like, oh my gosh, I only spend like £1. And it was a big jump from £1 to 15. For some of you, you might laugh at that, but if you're only used to spending £1, it's a big jump. And I remember saying to my friend who did Arbonne, like, I just can't justify £15. It's a lot of money. And she said to me, if it works and it gets rid of the kids' like red, raw, itchy skin, is it worth it? And I didn't even have to think. I was like, 100% it's worth it. I said, but my worry isn't that it works and it's worth it. My worry is I spend that and it doesn't work. And she said to me, all the products have got a full 45-day money back guarantee. And I just thought, if there's a company that believes that much in its products, it's willing to refund people that have used the products and don't see the results they were looking for, that to me speaks volumes. So I ordered it. It did work. Within 4 days, my kids' skin had cleared up. But what I noticed was it lasted me about, I've got 2 children, it lasted me 6 months. Whereas the £1 products I was using, I'd replace it every week. So actually, in the long run, it actually saved me money, and it was 1 bottle every 6 months. And that's obviously better for the environment, because I was used to using a bottle a week, and obviously that's not good for anybody. So I had to like change my mindset about the products, because I was used to using like shampoo every week and like shower gel every week, but then I started buying the Arbonne products, and they just last so much longer. It's like a dot is a lot, isn't it, Abby?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like you say, I think I've had the shampoo since January, and I've probably got more than half a bottle left. So what does that say, really? It's great. Yeah.
It is really good. So when you were looking at this from a business point of view, did you have any like fears and hesitations, any worries? And if you did, like, please share them. And then how have you overcome them and decided, actually, I am going to not let that hold me back. I am going to do this as a business.
Well, firstly, I wasn't even looking for business. So there's that. Obviously, you're always skeptical in this day and age. You're skeptical that there's someone out there trying to con you or lead you down some false path or something like that. So that was my initial hesitation. But then kind of going forward into the business, I think my biggest thing is just overcoming this having to put myself out there and having to kind of talk to people and be what's the word, kind of outgoing, and that's not me. I don't really do putting myself out there, but that's also a plus point, because I've gone on a real path of kind of self-development as well, and I'm really kind of working on that and really pushing myself, which can only be a good thing, really, both for this business and for my other business as well, because that's been one of my things that's held me back over the years. Is just like a confidence in my own self and my own ability, really, and I feel like that is starting to come with just actually doing it.
Lovely. Wow. Thank you for sharing that and being so honest. So with Arbonne, everybody starts at a level playing field. It doesn't matter whether you're a man, a woman, whether you're 18 or 80, your faith, your religion, like it's all absolutely irrelevant. Everybody like signs up to the business and they start in the same place. And I always liken having an Arbonne business to like going to the gym. It's very easy for everybody to get a gym membership, but just because you've got a gym membership, it doesn't mean that you've got the body of an athlete, or it doesn't mean you can run a marathon. You've then got to actually go to the gym and do something with it. And the people that go to the gym the most, they have that body of an athlete quicker than those that don't go to the gym that often. And this is how Arbonne works. I say to people, it is an effort-based business. So you could have one person that decides that they're going to go all in and they're going to be like, right, I'm working this business 10 hours a day. And they're obviously going to build a successful business quicker than somebody that only did a couple of hours a day. And that's absolutely fine. For me, I was all in. For me, I needed to come off benefits, help my husband retire, and start saving up to buy our first house. And so I gave myself a 1-year target. I was a personal target of mine to earn £2,000 a month upwards. And I did achieve that in my first year, and my business has continued to grow over the last 6 years. If you are like all in, Abby, and you're like, I am gonna like make this work, and in the next 12 months your business is paying you £2,000 a month upwards, what does that mean for you? Like what are you most excited about having a successful Arbonne business?
Just having that ability to make some choices really, and be a bit more financially stable and independent. Obviously I've got 3 children and I live in a 3-bedroom house, so at some point we need to be able to change that. We need to give them all a bedroom, and just the ability to not be worried about my physio business as well. I still want to do both, but as a self-employed person solely reliant on just me being able to work, that ability to have a bit of leeway on that is really the main thing, I think, that will be the biggest help really.
Okay, so if there's people on the line right now, or they're watching this on replay, and they think, do you know what, actually I think this might be something for me. I mean, going back to myself, somebody said to me, if you don't change anything, a year is going to pass and you're going to be in exactly the same position. In 5 years time, if you don't do anything differently, your life is going to be exactly the same. Like, how does that make you feel? And for me, I was horrified, because I did not want to be in the same position. Like, I was desperate for change. I wanted more time, more income, a better community of people around me. Like, I wanted to be more confident, and I wanted to help more people, and I wanted a great way to help more people. So if there's somebody watching this now and they're thinking to themselves, actually I want more, whether that's more time, more money, community, to learn more about the products, like just more of whatever it is, and they're thinking, actually I wouldn't mind joining Abby's team and doing this business as well, what advice would you give for them if they're kind of sat on the fence at the minute?
Well, firstly, what have you got to lose? There's very, very little commitment or anything to lose in it. At the worst, you'll end up with some nice products and a better understanding of what you're putting on your body. But on the other end of the spectrum, you find this whole new life, this whole new career that does give you that freedom to. And I think it's kind of, lockdown has taught so many of us how important it is to have that time at home with the families. I think it's opened so many people's eyes to just the time pressures that we've all been under without really realizing what we were missing out on. So what have you got to lose? And just, it isn't for everyone. I think that's the other thing. It might not be for you. You do have to put yourself out there and, like you say, put the effort in. But equally, I think that self-development and all that work that you might do to the way you improve your own confidence it's worth a try, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what's that saying? If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
True.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so just to wrap up, thank you everybody for listening. So now competition time. So what we want you to do to be entered to win a full-size product from Abby's business is to comment how you know Abby, and whether you are a 1, a 2 or a 3. So I'm going to tell you what they mean. So obviously you want to help support Abby in some way. This is like her grand unveiling of her business. If we could, we'd have had a ribbon and we would have cut it, but this is how we do it with the technology side. So what we want you to do is, if you have watched this and thought, I'd love to support Abby with her business by doing this myself, I want to get an Arbonne account myself and I want to join the team and I want to get involved with this and I'm going to build this with Abby, you absolutely can do that. So if that's you, you're a 1. So just comment you're a 1. You might have questions and that's absolutely fine. Like, we can have a call between the 3 of us and we can answer your questions and go through that. So if that's you, put I'm a 1. If you've listened to this and thought, do you know what, I'd love to support Abby by trying some of the products, whether that is a protein shake, we've got great energy drinks, they're like a healthy version of energy drinks, fizz sticks, they're amazing. Whether you want to try lipstick, a mascara, sun cream, toothpaste, like the list is endless. There's over 500 products, so you can have a look at Abby's website. And then if that's you, just comment, I'm a number 2 and I'll try some products. That would be amazing, because this business is built through word of mouth. So if you do decide to use, say, the mascara that Abby sells, you're going to use it. You're going to love it because everybody does. And then you're probably going to tell people that Abby doesn't know, who then decide, oh, I want to get a mascara as well. Like, that's how this business works. So if that's you, comment I'm a 2 and thank you so much. The third option is, if you don't use products, you don't need this kind of business in your life because everything's all fine for you. So you're kind of thinking, well, how can I support Abby? There is a third option, and that is what we call a cheerleader. So this is somebody that just sort of says to Abby on a regular basis, hey Abby, how's your business going? Have you got any products that you want me to test for you and write you a recommendation, or can I host you a party? And obviously we can't do in-person parties at the minute, but we do these 15-minute online virtual ones. So even if you just said, the only way I can support you right now, Abby, is to host you a 15-minute party and invite my friends and family to it. Like, that is massive. So thank you so much on Abby's behalf if that's where you are. So that's number 3, so a cheerleader. So just comment how you know Abby, and if you're a 1, business, 2, products, 3, cheerleader. And everybody that does that, we're going to put your name into a hat and do a prize draw. So Abby, anything else you want to say before we finish your first grand unveiling launch of your new business?
Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for turning up and showing up. If there's anything I can help you with, anything you want to know more about, obviously just give me a shout. However you contact me is fine. And I really hope that I hear from you soon.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Danny.
Bye all.
Bye.